Hi, families and readers. It's me, Mrs. Case, the happy teacher, and I am going to be reading chapter 8 of Junie B. Jones' Aloha-ha-ha, which is titled Clicking. So if you remember in chapter 7, it was called Flower Head, and we read about Junie B. Jones. She was very grumpy that day, and she did not want to go on the hike. And they were on the bus, and Donald is the tour bus driver. And finally, Junie B got over her grumpies and was picking flowers. And here is her picture titled, "I Am Stunning." That was what she wrote for the caption. Okay, so let's get started with chapter 8, Clicking. We hiked and hiked to the end of the trail. Then Donald gave us granola bars, plus also we drank Gatorade. Donald liked my flower hat. "You look like a walking lahua blossom," he said. I did a frown at that word. "A lahua wada?" I said. "A lahua blossom. The flowers in your hair are red lahua blossoms," he explained. "Lahua blossoms are a favorite food source for a little red bird called an apapane." I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's spelled apapane. It might be apapane. I feel like I need to look that up later. Lahua blossoms are a favorite food source for a little red bird called an apapane. That was Donald explaining that. I stared at that man for a real long time. "You have way too much information in your head, Don," I said. Donald laughed real loud. Then I laughed too, only it wasn't actually a joke. After we rested, we started hiking back to the bus. Mother and Daddy and I went last again, only this time I had to walk even slower on account of the flowers kept falling out of my hair. So I had to keep picking them up and putting them back. "Come on, Junie B," said Mother. "We need to stay up with the others. If the flowers fall out of your hair, you'll just have to leave them." I did a frown. "But I worked very hard at this flower arrangement," I said, "and I don't want to go back to the bus empty-headed." Mother thought for a minute. Then she picked up more flowers from the trail, and she wove them in all over my head. Plus also, she used some bobby pins to hold them. "There, that ought to do the trick," she said. "Now come on, let's go. We've got to catch up." And so both of us started to run, only too bad for me, because all of a sudden, my shoe came loose. And so I quick sat down on the trail to tie it. And that is the last pleasant hiking memory I have. Whoosh! The noise zoomed by my ear. Whoosh! I did a gasp. A teensy red bird flew right by my face. I sat there real frozen. The bird fluttered and flapped and chirped and chirped and dipped and swirled, and then plop! That crazy bird landed right on top of my head. My mouth tried to shout, but no words would come out. I quick stood up and tried to shoo him away, but he just flapped and flopped and fluttered some more, and he kept right on staying there. Then finally, my voice came back to normal. Bird! Bird! 911! 911! Bird! Bird! I screeched. Mother and Daddy came running back to me. Their mouths fell all the way open. Then they tried to shoo the bird away too, but it still kept flapping and flopping and fluttering up there. Suddenly, Mother covered her mouth with her hand. Oh my gosh, I think it's stuck, she said. I think it's tangled in her hair. My eyes got big and wide at that news. Tangled? I yelled. The bird is tangled in my hair? Are you kidding me? I raised my screech even louder. It's tangled! It's tangled! 911! Tangled bird! I hollered. All of the bus people came rushing back at once. Plus, Donald came rushing back too. He came to a stop in front of the group. Then he quick gathered himself together and he started giving orders. Okay, I need everyone to go back to the bus. Now, he said, please. The old people hurried away. Then Donald turned to Mother and Daddy and he made his voice very calmy. Okay, Mom and Dad, step away from the bird, he said. Mother and Daddy looked at each other. Then both of them stepped away. After that, Donald walked to me real slow and he squatted down next to me and he held my hand. You okay, honey? He said. I rolled my eyes. I've got a bird on my head here, Don. How good can I be? I said. Donald smiled. I thought for a minute and I did a sigh. Let me go back and reread. I've got a bird on my head here, Don. How good can I be? I said. Donald smiled. I don't know. You look pretty brave to me, he said. I thought for a minute and did a sigh. I'm not, Donald. I'm not brave, I said. I'm afraid of jellyfish and eels. Donald shrugged. Join the club, he said. After that, he gave me a pat and he told me final instructions. Just hold your head perfectly still. He said, I'm going to walk behind you and untangle this little guy, okay? My heart pounded real hard. Okay, I said back. I stood as still as could be. Donald's voice kept talking real quiet and calm. In all of my years as a nature guide, I have never seen a sight like this, he said. I raised my eyebrows. Really, Donald? I said. Really, he said. I wish I had a picture of this. A picture of this would be 1 in a million. That's when it hit me. I did a gasp. Donald, I have a camera, I said. I pointed to my backpack lying on the trail. It's right in there. Mother covered her mouth. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot all about that, she said. Then she bent down real slow and she got the camera from my backpack and click, click, she took a picture. I kept on staying still. I felt Donald pick up the bird real gentle and he untangled its feet from my hair. Click, click, Mother took another picture. Then, hooray! Oh, Donald held out his hands and he showed me the teensy little red bird. Look, see? Not one feather harmed, he said. Good job, young lady. I smiled, real relieved. Good job to you too, Donald, I said. He winked at me. How about if you and I go release this little fella back to the tree? He said. He's going to have a pretty exciting story to tell all his friends, isn't he? I thought about show and tell. Yes, I said, we both are. After that, I took the camera from Mother, and me and Donald went down the trail a little way. Donald set the little bird on a rock. He kept his hands around the bird real gentle. Ready? Said Donald. Ready, I said. Donald took his hands away, and flap, flap, the bird started to fly. I began snapping pictures very fast. Click, 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 click. So the top one says a bird in the tree. And the bottom picture says, bye-bye, birdie. Then zoom, it flew away. For a second, I stood there real silent. Donald stood real silent too. Whoa, I finally said. Wow, said Donald. We looked at each other and smiled. I aimed my camera one more time. Click, click. My new friend, Dawn. I guess she ended up liking Dawn after all, didn't she? I hope you enjoyed that chapter. We have just one more chapter in this story together, and the title of the next chapter is Aloha. It's kind of how her trip began. Remember when they said aloha? Happy reading. Smiles. See you soon. Mrs. Case, happy teacher.